welcome or welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm telling you 4 things that you should know before you visit Zion National Park. Zion is located near the southern border of Utah. It's known for its strenuous hikes and climbs and also its breathtaking canyon views. As you drive to the park entrance, you'll notice plenty of parking opportunities along the road. Parking costs about $20 and you should get as close to the park entrance as you can. But you can also park a little bit farther away and take a free shuttle that gets you right to the entrance. When you arrive to the park entrance, you'll have to pay an entry fee. If you are one solo person, it'll cost you $20. If you are bringing your car, it'll be $35. Regardless, all entry passes are valid for 7 days. So the first tip I have for you before visiting Zion is to reserve a bus ticket in advance. I'm not talking about for the free shuttle that takes you from your parking lot to the actual park. I'm talking about the bus that's inside the park that takes you to all the great hiking locations. Most of the hikes in the park are located off of a long road that is closed to private vehicles. So the best way to travel through the park is by getting a bus ticket, which costs only $1. You have to get these tickets in advance and they're released in batches about 2 weeks ahead of time. If you can't get a ticket 2 weeks before you want to go to the park, you can also find tickets released 24 hours in advance. So this means that you'll have to log on to the website at, I don't remember the time, but maybe 8 a.m. and fight for your bus ticket. If you aren't able to get a bus ticket in advance, there's still a few things that you can do. Number 1, you can walk along the road. You can also bring or rent a bike and you can ride your bike along the road to the various hikes. And the final option is to actually charter a bus in the town right outside of the park. I don't know exactly how much this option costs, but I did see a few different bus companies that are right outside the park that are approved to drive on the road. My second tip for you is to get to Zion early. And I say that for multiple reasons. Number 1, so that you can beat the heat. Number 2, so that you have enough time to do the most strenuous and most popular hikes like Angel's Landing and the Narrows, which can take up to 8 hours. And the third reason that you should get to the park early is that so you can skip the very long bus lines. I got to the park not as early as I wanted to, maybe around 11 o'clock, and the line for the bus was not bad at all. But when I was leaving the park at about 3 o'clock, the line was insanely long, and these people were waiting outside in the heat, and it was just not a good situation. My third recommendation for you is to do one of the 2 most popular hikes, which I just mentioned, Angel's Landing and the Narrows. I only did Angel's Landing, which is a pretty strenuous hike that takes you up the canyon walls so that when you get to the top, you're looking down into the canyon. So I just made it to the top of Angel's Landing, and there's more up there. I think that's like a different path, so I'm gonna go see what it's like up there. So this is the very top.
You're like doubting yourself? Yeah.
So you can see this is the river, so we're at the very bottom of the canyon. And then this mountain behind me up there, that's where we hiked up to. While I really enjoyed the good physicality of this hike, I mean, it really got me sweating, it felt like a great workout, I wasn't enamored by the views at the top. So I actually wish that I had done the Narrows instead. And the Narrows is actually walking inside the canyon, so you're walking between the canyon walls and looking up at them. The Narrows hike is much longer. As I said, I read somewhere that it can take up to 8 hours, but it's actually really unique because not only are you walking between the canyon walls, but there's actually a period where you're walking through the river. I've heard up to about thigh deep. Because part of this hike does include traversing through a river, it's highly recommended, and it might even be required, that you actually have a walking stick with you. So in addition to a walking stick, you're gonna need pants that can get wet, shoes and socks that can get wet, probably a change of clothes. And so fortunately, you can rent all of these materials right outside the park entrance. If you are unprepared or you just don't have what you need for the Narrows hike and you still want to do it, definitely would recommend going to that shop and renting some material. My fourth and final thing for you to know is that there's a cafe within the park. And I thought this was interesting because it was like a full-fledged cafe. You can get salads, burgers, french fries, ice cream, pretty much anything that you need. I saw a lot of people eating lunch there. I got some french fries and they were horrible. The cafe's there if you need it, but it's definitely not something that I would ever go back to. So those are the 4 tips that I have for you today. I visited Zion a few weeks ago, back in September, and COVID was obviously still going on at that time, so I'm sure a few things were different. I know for sure that the buses were not being filled up to their full capacity, and I'm sure there were some other differences too that I'm just not aware of. So if you have been to Zion and you have more tips to add, please drop them in the comments below. If you have not been to Zion and you found these tips helpful, also please drop a comment below. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and please subscribe to my channel. Okay, I'll see you next time. Bye!